for Black Girl Nerds.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Aaron. How are you today?
Good. How are
Good, thank
you?
you.
Good, good. All right. Well, I'm excited for this season. I'm a huge fan of the series. I even wrote a piece of it. So you guys are my couple's goals. I even talk about you guys all the time. So, how did you develop your chemistry? I feel like your relationship, Lena's and Oviedo's, is just probably the most solid uh, in the entire series. They're the most steadfast. So how did you develop that trust and that chemistry?
For me, I would say working with Stephanie is just a dream. So when you're with Steph, she's so fun, so outgoing, just she's like the funnest person you will ever meet. You know, when you go to a party and you want to meet that one person who like makes you feel comfortable, Steph's that kind of person. So working with Steph to have that kind of like it makes it all easy. Do you know what I mean? From my point of view, anyway.
Okay, Steph, what about you?
You know what? It kind of goes back to the chemistry test that we had before the show, before we'd even been cast, and I just knew that from just the way that we vibe together and everything, we just get on. And I think if you have a foundation of just friendship outside of outside of work and behind the cameras and everything, it just translates over. So when you've got that trust there, it's so easy to be able to sort of translate this relationship, this stable relationship, this loving relationship on camera, because we're really, really good friends. So yeah,
It
I'm
worked.
glad it like it translates onto screen, because
Exactly.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, they say the best marriages are marriages based on friendship. So we see it
Yep,
loud and
yep.
clear on the show. um, and this question is also for both of you. Um, Being a person of color, you don't often see people of color in period pieces. It's just they're either a servant, a slave. You guys are actually in places of power. You're a lady to the queen. You're a soldier. What does that mean to you, and how do you feel like that translates to your audience?
I mean, I think representation is everything. I think before I got this show, I, I'd seen so many period dramas and just never thought I had a place within them. So it's really funny, because I think about a month before I got the show, one of my friends was like, "Would you ever do a period drama?" And I was just like,
Me.
"Babe, that's not my arena." And then life comes and throws something right at you, and you're like, "Oh." And what it did was that when I found out about Lena, and then went back to the moors and started and found out that there were scholars from all over the world that would come to England to study, it opened up sort of Pandora's box for me, because it's a period of time that I never associated myself, my ancestors in, but we were very much there. And it's an absolute blessing to be able to play someone with status. Like you said, a lot of the time they're slaves, or they're less than. Lena is a member of the court, you know what I mean? And Oviedo is a soldier, and their places are valid within the palace. And it's so wonderful to be able to portray that, and even more wonderful that people can watch it and be inspired to learn more about Black history, and and our presence across the world.
Absolutely. Aaron?
I think history has done a job of trying to tell people that for a lot of Black people, the history doesn't start until slavery happens, but there's a big history about Black people and other people from different ethnic backgrounds as well, way before there was slavery or people came to Europe from wherever they came from. And before there was slavery, the continent of Africa, all the little kind of like countries or the kingdoms, depending on the size as well, they were kings and queens, they were people of all kind of status, and people seem to forget that. And before there was a slave trade, people just traded, and people weren't looked upon their status by the color of their skin, but by what they did or what they could bring to a place. So I think a show like The Spanish Princess allows that conversation to happen and people to do more research and learn more about their past and other people's past. And that's a way to kind of bridge things for a better future, I think.
Absolutely. One final question before we go. You guys are embarking on family life. So what's that like for you on camera and in that story?
Oh,
The kids are
it's
fun.
lovely. Yeah. Yeah, they're such fun. It was really nice. Do you know what? It's really nice to see that side of Lena and Oviedo's life, because I mean, very in part one, you kind of always see them at the palace, but in part two, you really get to see sort of their home life and just the love. And they, you know, it may not seem like they have a lot, but they have everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's so nice to get that contrast of the decadence and the elegance, and then just the humble surroundings where there is love, where there is comfort, where they have their little family. So yeah, I'm excited for everyone to sort of meet our little cute little family.
Perfect. And we're excited too. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the rest of the season, everyone else to see it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.